On the road to building self-esteem, there will be ups and downs. You won't wake up every day feeling positive. Some days you'll be filled with self-doubt and want to hide from the world. It's in these weaker moments that your greatest strides in developing your character will be made. By overcoming the resistance to shrink down and make yourself invisible, you build the mental muscle required to endure any kind of adversity. Embarrassing situations are particularly helpful in this way. Times when you say the wrong thing, put your foot in your mouth, act in a way that is childish or immature, these are the moments where you can catch yourself and make the course correction that will lead to a better version of yourself. People with low self-esteem get embarrassed far more often because they care what other people think far too much. Learning how to let go of trying to control the opinions of other people will be your first liberating step. But it's not the only one. This tutorial is going to walk you through how to recover from embarrassing situations with as much grace as possible and get you back to a self-assured mental state quickly. Let's take a simplistic example. I'll make the assumption that the embarrassing situation has occurred face-to-face with another person. However, these strategies can be taken whether your embarrassment has taken place in front of a group of strangers, close friends, on the phone, in a meeting, on a date, or with any opposing counterpart. Really, the strategies shown here have little to do with the opposing force and much more to do with your own mental framework. I'm going to show you how to regain the stillness of your inner belief and affect the world with assertive confidence quickly after your slip-up. So let's visit the moment of your discomfort. You've just been embarrassed. Whether you did it to yourself through your own action, or someone else has created the scenario for you to deal with, the current situation is you're deeply uncomfortable. First, we want to focus on reinventing yourself. It's important to recognize immediately that every moment is a chance to reinvent who you are. Embracing this mindset is going to teach you to let go of the actions of your past, no matter how recent you've seemingly messed up. Simple adjustments, like changing your body language, honing in on your eye contact, and adjusting the tonality of your voice, will immediately change how you are received by others. When you change your approach in the moment and moving forward, you create an unshakable framework that cannot be rattled. I want you to accept that you are not the same person you were 2 seconds ago. You are reborn with each passing moment. This will stop you from looking in the rearview mirror of your life and help you to focus on how to place each foot forward in perfect placement to achieve your desires. If you're focused on your imperfections of the past, others will be subconsciously drawn to that weakness and look to dominate your insecurity. Many times this isn't done with malicious intent. It's simply human nature to dominate in a social dynamic. If you don't stick up for yourself and dominate with equal reciprocity, you'll fall victim to scrutiny and manipulation. So now you know that you can reinvent who you are with each passing moment. How do you determine who you will be? That's simple. You will be the embodiment of confidence and high self-esteem using the instruments of self-empowerment described in this program. Your stance, posture, eye contact, voice, and speed of movement will dictate how you are to be treated by others. Additionally, the mental coping mechanisms will project how you are able to move forward past your embarrassment and onto a beneficial train of thought and action. You don't have to explain yourself. In fact, don't explain yourself, ever. When we get embarrassed, it becomes natural to express our feelings, thoughts, and concerns in order to rationalize our weakness to the other person. We look to explain ourselves as if to make the embarrassing incident okay in their eyes. This is a common action to take because our rational mind looks to find closure on the embarrassment. We think we can reverse the embarrassment through the understanding of others. But unfortunately, this rarely works out. People tend to take pleasure in the weakness and vulnerabilities of others. When we see a celebrity make a mistake or embarrass themselves, it becomes a much more shared phenomenon than celebrating the success or strength of others. At the end of the day, we're all primates, and it's the tendency of animals to poke at the weakness of one another. In the pack mentality, this creates a hierarchy and sense of dominance. You're probably familiar with chickens and the pecking order of the brood. Dogs as well have an alpha in the pack and a subservient beta hierarchy. This chain of command creates order and decreases the anxiety of decision-making among the group. The group follows the hierarchy without question, and the survival of the members depend on this loyalty. Humans aren't much different when it comes to following this kind of decided popularity among peers. So, it's not uncommon for embarrassment to be greeted with derision rather than empathy and kindness. Your job, as the person who has just become embarrassed, is to not let this immediate response of the group or person disempower you. The best way to do this is to rise above the action by moving past it as quickly as possible, by understanding that you can reinvent yourself in every moment. You are able to internally react and control the external outcome. Don't explain yourself. You owe the other person or party nothing. You are your own judge and jury, and their opinion quite simply does not affect the outcome of your life's direction. You can convey this very quickly by being mature enough to move on and focus on whatever else is beneficial. Marinating in your own embarrassment is not beneficial. Your embarrassment itself may be beneficial temporarily. After all, any kind of discomfort you sense in life is there to teach you some kind of lesson. Learn the lesson, but don't hold your current situation hostage at the expense of it. When you are alone, reflect on what went wrong and learn how to correct your actions to prevent a similar embarrassment from happening in the future. This is incredibly important. Simply avoiding pain in life will not help you. However, navigating around your own discomfort will. That doesn't mean you should avoid things that make you uncomfortable. Quite the opposite. You should lean into your fear and discomfort as much as possible. However, once you start doing this, you'll find that less and less experiences actually make you feel fear and discomfort. The more vulnerability you learn to navigate through, the more self-sufficient your mind will be to handle anything that life throws at you. Don't victimize yourself. You've got to learn to let it go. Whatever caused your embarrassment, don't hold on to anger in retaliation of the experience. Make peace with the truth. You were really embarrassed. You really did screw up in some way according to your own perception of things. But let it go. Quit focusing on a moment of fault in your life. The attention pulls you downward. It is an unhelpful thought to victimize yourself. Recognize the thought pattern happening in your mind and recognize it as a problem that needs to be visited. Why are you victimizing yourself? Why not make yourself the hero of this story? What makes you choose one over the other? Are you angry with yourself and punishing yourself by basking in the embarrassment? The answers will come if you ask yourself the right questions. However, your embarrassment and possibly anger is unique to you. Can you learn to laugh at yourself? Can you put down the lead weight of an embarrassing past experience? The choice is really up to you. And it comes down to forgiving yourself. If you messed up bad, you'll need to learn how to forgive yourself. You're on a journey, and it won't be smooth from beginning to end. Be realistic, and develop a sense of humor towards life that celebrates all the lessons learned along the way. We're not done learning, and our emotions steer the direction of our expansion and enlightenment. Use embarrassment as a tool to discover more about who you are and how to master yourself.